All right, I am back with another headshot review, and this time I want to do Dragon's Den Canada. It's one of my favorite shows. Me and my family watch it all the time, and it teaches us a lot about business. I'm assuming if you're a dragon on the Dragon's Den, you're gonna have a great LinkedIn headshot, and I think we can learn a lot from what the dragons are using as their LinkedIn headshot. So I want to dive into it. The first dragon is a celebrity dragon. I don't know if it's just for a couple episodes or the whole season, but it's Simu. He's a world famous action movie star, and I think his headshot lines up. Now, he actually doesn't have a LinkedIn profile. The profile's there, and there's a really low resolution photo. I think what they did is just made sure they grabbed his LinkedIn and they placed it there. But it's not active. There's nothing going on this page. So I'm going to review the Instagram photo. But what I want to say is I think he's missing out on huge opportunities not being on LinkedIn. And I think if we look at Ryan Reynolds, another super famous movie star, he's super active on LinkedIn. And I love that. I think there's a lot of opportunities there. And if he's going to be a dragon, you need to be on LinkedIn. So Simu on Simu's Instagram profile photo is a fitness photo. Totally on brand. If you're into fitness and that is your brand, use a fitness photo as your profile. I have no problem with that. You don't need to be in a suit and tie. You need to communicate the story that you want to communicate. And this is the story that is on brand for him. So that's wonderful. He can zoom in a little bit more. The Instagram photo, the LinkedIn photo is so tiny. Your face should fill 60% of that circle. He's almost kind of like elbows up. I also love the lighting. It is studio lighting. It looks like sunlight, but I'm pretty sure it is a studio light replicating sunlight. It's a really hard light and there's a harsh shadow on the wall. I love that. It looks very high end. It looks studio. It looks intentional. Great job on the headshot. Just zoom in and get a LinkedIn page. Okay, the next dragon we have is Wes Hall, and it's another awesome photo. What I love about it is, first thing is the camera angle. It's a little bit lower. Now what that communicates is authority, significance, power, and it demands your attention. If we take a look at movies, maybe an action film or something where good guy versus bad guy, the good guy at the start of the film is often filmed from a high angle because at the start of the film, they're probably insignificant because the story is gonna have this character arc of each character, and by the end, the good guy is going to be victorious, but it's that giant journey. So they'll show the main character, the hero, as less than and insignificant and filmed from a high angle. Now the villain is big and scary and filmed from a low angle. And at the end of the film, the bad guy is defeated. He's probably laying on the ground or even buried underground and is filmed from a very high angle. And that shows the defeat of the villain, and the good guy is going to be filmed at the end of the film from a low angle, showing that they're victorious. And that's just a simple way you can tell a story with your headshot. Now for the typical headshot that I photograph, I'm photographing you at eye level because I want everyone to see you as an equal. I don't want to shoot from a high angle, even though some people think it is flattering. And it's flattering because it brings our face towards the camera, eliminating any chance of a double chin. But I don't want anyone looking down on you, especially if you're a woman in the workplace. I really believe you're an equal, and so I want everyone to see you as an equal, so we need to photograph you eye level. There's a couple tips and tricks we can do to still have that flattering jawline without looking up at the camera. One of it, if we're sitting down, just like I am right now, lean forward in towards the camera. That's gonna really eliminate any of those double chins and be really flattering. The same effect as looking up towards the camera. If we're standing up, we're just gonna bring our nose towards the camera. Not too far. Definitely don't put any strain on your neck, but just a little bit. Bring our face towards the camera, and it's gonna have that effect of eliminating any possibility of a double chin. Definitely headshots, I don't want to shoot from a high angle, but sometimes I like to shoot from a low angle too, just like Wes has, and I think that's awesome. Wes's expression is also something to note. He's not smiling. He doesn't have this big goofy grin on his face. He still looks approachable. He's demanding authority. He's demanding your attention. That is perfect for his brand and what he wants to communicate. So I love that he's not just smiling for the sake of smiling. I think it looks like a very intentional photo. My only critique is zoom in for the headshot photo. He's kind of waist up, you can see his watch, you can see his whole suit jacket, also telling a story, but the photo is so tiny, we really need to zoom in to just your head. You can use the full photo for your posts, your articles, your Instagram feed, magazine submissions, what have you. But for the LinkedIn photo, just zoom in on your face. The next dragon is Michele Romanow, and I'm kind of shocked by her photo. I was not expecting this to be her headshot. It's a really great photo, but it's not a headshot and it's not the right place for this photo. You can tell she loves it, and there's so much joy in that photo, and it feels very authentic. I love the braid in the hair, and then the other piece of the hair is flipped over. She's wearing a leather jacket. It's a very stylized photo. I would just choose one where you're looking at the camera. There's probably one from that photo shoot where you're looking at the camera. For the purpose of a LinkedIn headshot profile photo, any social media profile photo, it's so important to have that human connection, and you get that by looking at the camera. What I really love about this photo though is the contrast. It's a very high contrast black and white photo, which shows a lot of personality, a lot of edge, but it also grabbed my attention. When I searched her in LinkedIn, everyone else kind of had a whatever photo, and there was that bam, like that contrast. It caught my eye right away. So that's a very effective tool. You could have your headshot be a very high contrast black and white photo, and that's gonna help stop people and be like, who's that? Just choose one where you're looking at the camera for the LinkedIn profile photo. That way people can recognize you, see who you are. Obviously, Michele, we know who you are. We see you on TV and you're very successful in the business world. So people know, but it's still really great to have that human connection. Okay, the next dragon is a new dragon, and I've been following him for a long time, so I'm super excited to be able to kind of review his headshot on LinkedIn. Brian Scudamore. I actually do recommend you go follow him. He does amazing posts, and lengthy too. Like, he'll write a whole story for every post, and there's a lot of good information in there, a lot of vulnerable stories, a lot of real stories about who he is. And he's a storyteller, and he gets it. And his headshot shows that. He's breaking so many rules in the headshot. He has a hat, he has a prop, things I would tell my clients not to do, but he's breaking the rules and he's doing them, but he's doing it intentionally and he's doing it right. First of all, he has a hat on. I definitely wouldn't recommend that, but his hat says it's all about the people. And now following him, following his posts, following his brands, following some of the companies he's started, it seems like he is really all about the people. And I think that's a very intentional move he made to wear that hat. It's not just a random hat. He's not a hat guy, probably, but he wanted to tell that story with the words on his hat. So I think that's awesome, and it's true to his brand. The second is the banana phone, which is totally weird and crazy. I don't know how they ended up doing that in the studio. It's funny, which is also on brand. He's very vulnerable with his posts. Vulnerable isn't just always sad, but it's real. And he has some humor in his posts. And as a business guy, you're probably on your phone a lot. And it also grabbed my attention. I was like, well, what's this? It's gonna stop people, it's gonna make people look. So that's a trick you can use to help tell a story in your headshot. If you have something unique about you, or you do have a sense of humor, use that in your headshots to tell the story of who you are. So that's a really good thing. But it has to be authentic, it has to be done well, intentionally and authentic, and Brian totally nailed it. I kind of wish I took that headshot so I could have it in my portfolio, because it's just ridiculous and I love it. And the next dragon is Manjit Minhas, and she has a great LinkedIn headshot. It's appropriately sized for the tiny photo. She's cropped in just on her head. Everything is intentional. She has a very approachable smile and confident eyes, true to who she is. She is a very confident woman. Her hair's done nice, her makeup's done nice. You can tell this is a very intentional photo. What I think she's done with this photo is actually cropped in from a photo that's much wider. And I think that's a very good use of your photos. I often shoot photos for whole companies where I shoot waist up, and they can use those waist up photos for all sorts of presentations, trade show banners, vehicle wraps, all that kind of stuff. But then for LinkedIn and for headshots and the headshot page on their website, we're able to zoom in just on their head so people can really see who they are and connect with that person. Cameras nowadays have such a high resolution that you can do that. You can shoot wide and then crop in for the headshot. And I do that quite a bit with companies. It's a great way for companies and personal brands to have a really high ROI on their headshot and branding photos. These photos are an investment, And so you want to use them over and over and over and in as many applications as you can. The next and final dragon is Arlene Dickinson. She is the main face of the show, I would say. She's been there since the start, and if not since the start, she's been there the longest. I've watched every season. I'm pretty sure Arlene's been there since the start. I follow her on LinkedIn. She gives a ton of really good tips for entrepreneurs and people looking to raise money, but she's also vulnerable and speaks her mind on LinkedIn, which I really love. She's a great follow on LinkedIn, so I do recommend everyone go follow Arlene if you're looking to get the inside scoop on some business tips, and follow her. She is definitely one of my favorite follows on LinkedIn. And actually, talking about follows on LinkedIn you can follow somebody and connect with somebody. So I follow Arlene because I don't actually know her. We've never done business. We've never even exchanged an email. We're not in the same circle, so I don't connect with her. So you can go on LinkedIn and follow as many people as you want, learn about them, and then maybe in the future you'll have that opportunity to officially connect. And that's kind of the ecosystem of LinkedIn. If you don't know, follow, connect. I follow Arlene, but I'm not connected to her. And it's a really useful tip when you're trying to build your network on LinkedIn. Now, Arlene, for the sake of education and for the everyday person and companies looking for personal branding photos and headshots, I do want to critique your headshot a little bit. I was a little surprised by your headshot because it's a selfie, and I think there's a lot of good applications you can use for this photo, like some of the vulnerable posts that you do, or like an authentic article that you want to write. I don't know what's going on necessarily in this headshot. Maybe this is like a bedtime routine kind of thing, or a morning routine, or you're just about to go out for dinner. I don't know the story here, but it looks like you're in your bedroom, or there's like a closet in the background, and you just quickly snapped a selfie. And I think that's awesome, and I think there is a lot of good applications for that photo. But for a LinkedIn headshot, I think there's a couple tweaks that you could do and that other people could be aware of that could really help amplify their LinkedIn success and just their overall business and career success. First thing is that high angle. Now, because it's a selfie, we shoot selfies from a high angle because it's flattering. It brings our face towards the camera. However, when you photographed from a high angle, everyone's looking down on you. Now, based on who you are, you're a dragon, a super successful career. You've worked really hard for your career. You've been through some really hard times, and you've gotten through that. And there's no reason why anybody should be looking down on you. If anything, I would like to see a low camera angle for your headshot. I think that will help communicate everything you've achieved and been through and conquered, rather than people looking down on you. Or at least photograph from eye level, so people see you as an equal and you can see them as an equal. A high camera angle can just have that subconscious less than story behind the photo. And the next thing is the hand being here. Again, just for the profile photo, for a typical headshot, I'd probably remove your hand for the sake of this photo. I haven't been on your website to see what headshot you're using there, but it's probably not this photo. And I would probably just recommend having a similar photo for your website bio and your LinkedIn headshot. Again, you could use this photo for an article on your website, or a blog post, or a post to your feed and telling a story about whatever's going on here. And I think that could be a very powerful tool for that. But for LinkedIn profile photo, website, headshot, I probably wouldn't have chosen this photo. But what's really cool is if you go to the CBC Dragon's Den website, they have had a professional photographer photograph all the dragons with a matching style, and it's really good. Some of the things that they've done is the camera angle is a little bit low, showing that these dragons are powerful and to be taken seriously. All the photos are also on a blank gray background, which is perfect for a LinkedIn photo. And then they also all have like this golden kind of rim light, which is just a nice little detail, kind of shows that they're a dragon, and I think it's fun. But what I find kind of curious is none of the dragons were using those photos from the CBC Dragon's Den photo shoot on their LinkedIn. Maybe they're not allowed, I don't know, but I think it would be beneficial for the show and for the individual if all the dragons use that photo on their LinkedIn, especially leading up to the new season of Dragon's Den, which comes out on September 26th, and I can't wait to watch it. There's my Dragon's Den LinkedIn headshot photo review. Let me know in the comments below of like what headshots you would like me to review next. There's so many different areas I can take these headshot reviews. I like the education aspect where I can show people what a headshot is communicating and the different applications that can be used for a headshot to help people get the most ROI from their investments in personal headshots and personal branding photos.